A man wanted for violent threats against President Joe Biden has been fatally shot by FBI agents in the U.S. state of Utah. Law enforcement officials have told the BBC that special agents attempted to serve arrest and search warrants at a house this morning. President Biden is scheduled to visit Utah this week, and we'll have more details from our North America correspondent Nomia Iqbal, who is following this for us. But a sealed criminal complaint shows that Craig Robertson was under investigation for making threats against President Biden. According to documents, FBI agents, conducting surveillance on his home in March, approached him to talk about a social media post. They were told by him to return with a warrant, and the complaint also shows online posts suggesting that Robertson intended to kill Mr. Biden, with the suspect allegedly writing he was, quote, cleaning the dust off of his M24 sniper, and this was again just ahead of the president's visit to Utah. So I want to bring back our panel Tom and Victoria, obviously this is not a story that we were expecting to come across at all, but very troubling, no. And it just goes to show you that we have these ongoing threats, but I think it also shows you the excellence of our Secret Service and our law enforcement to track these things very carefully. Obviously, the president's security is a top priority, regardless of their party, and we have a troubling history, on both sides of the Atlantic, of political assassinations. We've got to put in extraordinary measures to protect the president and his family and entirely appropriately, and I'm very glad this person is not able to pose a threat to President Biden. Yeah, indeed, Tom, coming for to you now again. This news is just coming in, and that information is, well, it represents the details that we have at this point, but it shows that this person was apparently under investigation for making threats against the prize president, and that FBI agents who conducted surveillance on his home really were worried about his intent to kill Mr. Biden.
The murder of politicians in this country, thankfully, so it is correct for me to say that things have got much worse in this country in the last 7 years when 2 MPs have been killed, which is an extremely rare occurrence. I accept that the US very sadly has a far worse history on that front, but I do think that America is divided, and I do think what is happening is evidence of that, and I think things have to improve.
Do you agree that this part of a larger trend that we're seeing in politics at the moment? No, I have to push back on that. If you think back to the 1960s, we lost a president, we lost his brother, a major candidate for the presidency. We had 2 attempts on President Ford's life and a very serious attempt on President Reagan's life, so I can't imagine this is something that just cropped up over the last 7 years, from our experience, but it's something to take extremely seriously. And as I said, I'm glad our FBI and Secret Service are on the job of keeping the president and his family safe. Well, again, we are still learning details about this. Victoria, you are saying that essentially you think this is an
I don't know what to say really. I've, in the last 7 years, which in the time that I've been covering politics, I've watched it become so much more vicious than it ever has before. I have covered the assassinations of 2 members of parliament in the United Kingdom. I've been to their funerals, with effectively their sort of de facto funerals, in the House of Commons. I don't know how we really get back from the brink. It is bleak. Who knows what this person had in mind, and it's not really appropriate to comment at this very rarefied moment, but the violence in politics has gone off the charts in the last, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years, and I have no idea how you dial it back again, but you have to.